Thank you, Rob. On the Fox 35 Money Watch, building a solid credit history is one of the most important things you can do in your life. But sometimes people go a little overboard, and there are a few important things that can quickly ruin your credit. Joining us this morning, Joe Bert, the Oracle of Orlando from Certified Financial, to talk a little bit about it. Good morning, Joe.
Good morning, Tom.
So we've got the 5 most common mistakes.
Right.
Let's start. Go ahead.
Well, first of all, let's talk about why credit's important.
Yes.
I mean, not only when you want to get a mortgage, it affects your car insurance, you want to buy a car, even your job today. So if you're in the job market and your credit's not so good, you may have a tough time. So
if you go out to rent an apartment.
Oh, yeah, exactly.
They check your credit.
Yep, they want to know all about you.
All right, so closing credit card accounts. What do you mean by that?
Well, if you have a lot of credit card accounts and you're not using them, what the credit card companies look at, or I should say the people that keep track of your credit score, is how much credit you're using versus the amount of cards that you have open.
Okay.
So if you're closing your credit card accounts, you're maybe cutting down the amount of available credits, the amount of available credit versus what you're using, and you have to have the right ratio. If you close a bunch of cards, you're cutting down that ratio.
And that's even if you have decent credit.
Oh, yeah.
You can hurt yourself by doing that.
Yes, exactly.
Okay. Another mistake, running up high balances.
Well, we all know what that is. If you have, particularly on one card, if you have one card that you have a high balance on, you have a lot of other credit cards, that's a warning sign.
All right, applying for new credit cards often.
Well, you know what happens. You go to Best Buy or Home Depot or something, the first thing they ask you, want to use a credit card, want to use a credit card. I remember taking my kids to college, that they were on campus giving away free t-shirts.
That's where I got my first one.
Yeah, I mean, and that's a real risk, because you want to be careful that you don't, capriciously just open up these credit cards, because too many credit cards is a bad thing as well.
And again, it all plays into that ratio that you're talking about.
It's the algorithm that they use, and nobody can explain how they do the calculation.
All right, ignoring or missing errors on your credit.
Yeah, they do make mistakes. If you have an account that's been open, or let's say that your credit report is showing that you haven't made a payment, you want to check that. You can go to annualcreditreport.com to get your once-a-year statement, check all your opening balances, all your credit cards, to be sure that everything's exact.
How important is that? Because I have to be honest, for most of my life as an adult, I never checked it.
Well, it's only an issue until something gets messed up. You don't have a leak until you have a problem. So you want to check it. Annualcreditreport.com. It'll tell you exactly what's going on.
In these days of identity theft, though, I would imagine it is easy to get in a jam, even if you're doing the right things.
Oh, yeah. You hear these and see these horror stories all the time. Once your credit is messed up, you really have trouble. So you want to stay on top of it, because it affects an awful lot of things in your personal financial life.
And it's easy to do, pulling that credit history. Joe Bert, thank you for being here.
Tom,
good to see you. Lauren?